DorkLair.
Welcome to the DorkLair Top 10 Action Figures of 2020. This is my first list. I'm going to try to do a second list. I was putting together my list and I just couldn't really come up with 10. And I started to realize that it's hard to compare certain figures in like different price points. So I'm going to do this list, which is my top 10 figures over $50. And then I'm going to hopefully have the time to do a second list, which I've been working on, but I just hopefully have the time to record it. My top 10 figures under $50. So that's the video where you'll get like Black Series and some of the regular like Mythic Legions and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that under 50 list. But for now, let's get into the top 10 over 50. All right, so as you may have guessed, you're looking at my number 10 already, and that is the Mondo 1/6 scale Man-at-Arms. Now, my 10 and my 9 are just like way higher price points, and I put them at 10 and 9 because it's hard to compare them to all the others, but they do qualify as figures over $50, and I wanted to put them on because I have a little bit of a 1/6 collection, but I don't have enough to do like an over $150 line of like a top 10 list or anything like that. So because of that, I put these two on the list. So my number 10 is the 1/6 scale Mondo Man-at-Arms. I'm not even the biggest Masters of the Universe fan. I have become a lot more so because of my co-host Larry on the DorkLair podcast. But this line of figures has really gotten me into it. These things are incredible. They're just awesome. They really play on the meld of fantasy and science fiction from the Masters of the Universe, and they're just doing such a good job on these. And they are continuing the line, and I'm looking forward to seeing Hordak, I think, is coming out this year, 2021, and I think they're doing Keldor. I don't know if I'll get Keldor, but definitely going to get Hordak. But look at this Man-at-Arms. It's an absolutely stunning figure. He's a complete tank. The armor is just so big and heavy and chunky. Just an awesome figure on the shelf. Beautiful 1/6 scale Man-at-Arms from Mondo is my number 10. And my number 9 easily could have been my number 1 figure if I didn't kind of bump the bigger, pricier figures down to the bottom of the list just to have it be a fair fight among the other ones. But this could have been my number 1. This is the Hot Toys Mandalorian. This figure rocks. This is my kind of favorite look from one of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian, which has changed a little bit now that season 2 is done. But as of season 1, my favorite episode was chapter 2, the Jawa episode. Just an awesome figure here. Hot Toys just kills it with the details. Just so many little things, like these canisters are all separate, and the cape is beautiful. I did do a review of this one, so you can check out my review. It's my only 1/6 scale review on the channel. But yeah, so Hot Toys Mando is my number 9, and I'm definitely looking forward to some other Hot Toys Mandalorian figures very, very soon. And number 8 is Archimedes from the 4 Horsemen Mythic Legions. Probably one of my top 2 lines. And they didn't have a lot of figures released this year. I think really they just had that Wasteland wave that he's from, and he's awesome. I mean, I did a review of him. You can check out the review. Incredible looking figure, tons of details. They just keep ramping up their paint schemes and their paint jobs on these guys, and the ogre scale is great. It's a great like $60-ish figure here. This is a 9-inch figure, so he's a big hunkin' beast of an action figure. Awesome release. I cannot wait for that Aether wave that's coming down the pike very, very soon. So hell yeah, man. Archimedes rocks, number 8. And number 7 is the first of numerous Mezco figures that are going to be on this list. We have Doc Nocturnal himself. This release was really cool because it brought this other element into the Rumble Society. You have this like monster hunter guy and a new body size for that lineup of characters. They had been doing that like bigger Spider-Man body, the like comic Spider-Man body. That was the Gomez body. That was pretty much on everything that they were putting out. I think Baron Ben's was maybe a different body. I'm not totally sure there. But this brings it down to like a smaller form factor. This shares the body with the MCU Spider-Man figures. It's super articulated. It's a great buck. It's an awesome figure, and it's a really cool sort of like change up to the line. And he comes with a lot of really fun accessories, super detailed figure, awesome paint job, and all that. So yeah, awesome release right there. That is my number 7. And on to my number 6, and I apologize for the neutral pose on such an awesomely posable figure, but I just want to give you a standard look at him. This is the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman, and this figure just blew me away. I could not believe it. I have had a love-hate relationship with Mafex all these years, and a lot of it has to do with the quality control issues. I've had kind of like more than most people. Almost every Mafex I've had has some sort of breakage or bending or, you know, something weird, paint, whatever. But this is nearly perfect. It's a huge, chunky figure. It feels durable. It's the first Mafex where I really feel like that $80 price point was totally worth it. I'm always feeling like I got a little bit robbed when I buy a Mafex figure, but this one is absolutely my favorite Mafex figure that they have put out so far, and I'm looking forward to more. And it's funny because I was going to try to focus just on the Hush stuff, but I might have to get a few more things in the Dark Knight Returns lineup. But yeah, so that is my number 6 figure. And continuing with Batman and on to the top 5, my number 5 is the Batman Supreme Knight regular edition. It's a close call between the PX and the MDX, the shadow and the blue. But to me, just the colors on this one, the darker gray of the suit, the actual like kind of construction or material they used for the suit, this is the one for me. I just really love it. You know, the MDX has a lot going on, but this one just has the look that I really love here. And it's funny because I was really not too thrilled with the kind of big emblem, but it's really grown on me, and I actually kind of prefer it over all the other ones, I think, now for this particular figure. But yeah, so for my number 5, we have the Supreme Knight Batman from Mezco. And on to my number 4, which is the SH Figuarts IG11. This is leaps and bounds better than the Black Series version. Oftentimes you can kind of say, it's not really worth the extra price to get the Figuarts version when Black Series does just fine in that same scale. I personally collect almost every single SH Figuarts Star Wars figure and kind of just dabble in Black Series, but this is one of those ones like R2-D2, for example, where it's just so worth it to make the leap and get the better one. You know, you kind of hope down the road maybe Black Series, maybe Hasbro will do a better upgraded version of their IG sculpt and just make it, you know, modernize it a little bit more. Same thing with their R2, because both of those are pretty old at this point, but this is just incredible. The articulation is great. There's tons of swap out options. It comes with the pouch for the child, for Grogu, and just absolutely killer figure. I know it's really hard to find in the aftermarket because it was an exclusive, but you know, if you do have a chance to pick this up for a decent price, do not hesitate. Grab this figure. This is going to be one of those grail figures for a lot of people down the road. So IG11 at number 4. And in at number 3, I know this looks like the regular Blade, but it really is just a kit bash onto the MDX Blade. The MDX Blade that came out in the spring of 2020 is just awesome. And one of the reasons why I love it so much is it is great for kit bashing and kind of making your own version of Blade. So if you have that Blade and you have the original, put them together and you just have this really awesome looking Blade. You can do a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of people, my buddy Clown Baby is popping Gomez heads on Blade figures, and yeah, I'm really surprised that the regular Blade is still out there and available. And the two together, it's just almost a masterpiece kind of collection with the regular Blade and the MDX Blade. But the MDX Blade, even on its own, even without the regular Blade head and even without the jacket, is incredible. It's easy to modify the vest to be able to take the pin, to be able to take the clip out and put magnets on there and magnetize it and stuff. So Just an awesome, awesome release. I highly recommend it. It's one of those figures, too, that hasn't skyrocketed in price. So the MDX Blade is out there for, I think, like $125, and it was a $90 release. So, you know, you can still get that figure, and I highly recommend scooping one up before it's too late. MDX Blade, awesome figure, and that's my number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Mezco 112 Collective Ninja Dragon Gomez figures. I'm kind of cheating here to have both on here, but if I have to pick one, I will say that the Golden Dragon is my favorite of the two. I do love the colors of the red. I do think maybe I kind of prefer the red color, but it's all about this head sculpt on that kind of puts it over the top with the Golden Dragon. If I could include the Kit Bash kit, like the craniums, I might put the Golden Dragon over the top, but just out of the box, just the separate two figures, I'm going to go ahead and say the Golden Dragon is my number 2. Awesome figures, amazing Kit Bash possibilities, and just so sweet that Mezco put them out. I know people are getting a little sick of the ninjas, but this time last year, they were heavily wanted by a lot of people, and a very welcome addition, in my opinion, to the Gomez verse. So that's my number 2. And finally, for my number 1 figure of 2020, we have the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe Red Dragon mount. This, I kind of guess maybe I'm cheating a little bit because it's part of a 2-pack, but really it's just this figure that's my favorite. But it's still, if you break that 2-pack in half, it's still like a $60 figure, so it kind of fits the category here. Figures over $50. But this figure just blew me away. There's really 2 things about this figure that are putting it at the top of my list. One is that it's just purely an awesome figure. The articulation is impressive. The paintwork is amazing. You can put anything on it. You can put Mythic Legions on it. You can put Mezcos on it. Like it just works really well. It stands up freely on its own, or you can kind of have it balanced on its tail. It's just a nicely balanced figure, even though it looks really weird and awkward. It's just got a lot of character. And 2, this is the figure that's getting me into Storm Collectibles. I had never owned a Storm Collectibles figure before this 2-pack, and this 2-pack has got me to order the skeletons, multiple different kinds. It's got me to order some other things, like anything that fits in fantasy, I'm pretty much getting from Storm Collectibles. So I think I have Motoro on pre-order. I have Ares on pre-order. I have the Death Adder on pre-order, and just a lot of stuff coming down the pike for Storm. So I am totally on board with Storm these days, and this is the figure that kind of got me there. It's goofy. It's wild. You know, it's from an old goofy game with some really weird stuff going on, but there's a lot of nostalgia there. I played the hell out of that game when I was probably a freshman in high school. But yeah, this is my number 1 figure for just a lot of reasons. So number 1, Storm Collectibles, Golden Axe, the Dragon. Thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the Force be with you.
Follow me into the door.